But I just want to acknowledge the officiating clergy, Reverend Esther Carlisle and Reverend Delor Harris, and to thank you very much for agreeing to host this Thanksgiving farewell service for Robbie Shakespeare, and for really extending all the courtesies that you could for us. I really thank you. And I'm going to ask everyone here to clap the clergy. When we're in church, the Lord wants us to praise, give praises. I also want to acknowledge my brothers and sisters from the music fraternity and friends and close associates of Robbie, of Sly and Robbie. And to say that we're here celebrating. We're going to try not to be sad. We're going to try not to be sad. So let us just lively up ourselves, right? There will be those moments, but Robbie would want us to be celebrating, not to be sad. So my remembrance is going to be very light. And I hope that you will all share in your own minds some of the memories that you have of Robbie as I share mine. Now, how many of you know that the critically acclaimed, peer and fan admired reggae bassist Robbie Shakespeare, loved cowboy comics? You can put your hand up if you know. How many of you know that Robbie Shakespeare loved cowboy shows? And blues and country and western music. How many of you knew that? Those are some of the hobbies he enjoyed in life. So when Robbie left the stage, he would go enjoy. He wouldn't be listening to reggae music. He'd be listening to western, country and western, and blues. Not to mention, how many of you remember Robbie's baby face? It's such a big, as a matter of fact, I want to say to Kat, Robbie had such a baby face that he was loved by many ladies. And he loved everybody. So don't worry about a thing. Remember that, Kat. All right? People just loved him, and he loved everybody. So don't worry about a thing. And on observing someone seemingly displeased, Robbie would say, look upon him face long like brother dog on. How many of you remember Robbie saying that? So, despite this occasion, Robbie wouldn't want any long face like a brother dog around here. Instead, he would want us all to appreciate today as much as he enjoyed the things he loved. Before going further, though, I want to really express my condolences to Dawn, Kat, Marion, Shakespeare, and to his children, to the entire family, to his sister who is here, his close friends and musical associates, and more than anyone else, to Sly Dunbar. I want you all to just give Sly a big round of applause. Over 50 years of friendship, the other half of the Rhythm Twins. Clap him again. I can only imagine the void that his wife, Kat, will experience spending time without Robbie by her side. And even for the time, a year or so, that he was in the hospital, when she could be there, she was there. COVID restricted her visit at times, but when there was no restriction, she would be there by his side. Kat and Robbie built their relationship based on love and respect. And I want you to give her a round of applause for being there for him. She has been a loyal partner. Sometimes she would call me and say, Babsy, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I would just give her the reassurance. And then a minute after that, she's back to herself. You know, but it's been very difficult for her, extremely difficult. There are many times, I remember I would be talking to Robbie, and Robbie said, boy, Babsy, I don't know. I remember when he was on tour and he came back off tour and he said, my arm is just swollen. I just don't know what it is. And then when he found out that he had a problem, he said, boy, I'm going to just go to the doctor and get better quick so I could go back on the road. But instead it got worse. It got worse. I know it's very difficult for Sly, whose relationship with Robbie was built and evolved around his drums and Robbie's bass, sharing many moments, many activities, and many years of success in the studios and the stages across the world. So without Robbie Shakespeare, Sly will find it a little difficult. But Sly has some good soldiers around him. He has some good soldiers around him. And there are those in the music fraternity who are good brothers and sisters. I know Shaggy will be there. I know many others, Rory, Juby, so many others will be there, Sly, and I will be, so you won't be alone. So without Robbie Shakespeare, the world of reggae music will not be the same. Fans and musicians at home and abroad will miss having his bass thumping out those warm melodic lines to keep them marveled, to keep them swinging, and to keep them swaying. For me, Robbie's bass was my heartbeat. But rest assured, however, Robbie is leaving behind a legacy of cultural richness, musical inventiveness, and human generosity that will live on in perpetuity. As a Minister of Culture, I'm very much in touch with my fraternity. So although I'm Minister, I'm Babsy. And so I will always be in touch, even when I'm not Minister. And this occasion is an occasion that makes me reflect on other such experiences and occasions when I've had to play my part. And on most occasions, even from Bob, when I organize his farewell, and Peter Tosh, when I organized his farewell, there was always controversy. On this occasion, there's this calm, this beautiful spirit, this wonderful togetherness that is so reflective of who Robbie Shakespeare was. There's a calmness, there is peace, there is tranquility, there is no tension, and I just want everyone to recognize that was the man. And that is what we are celebrating today. That warmth and just that beautiful feeling. He was my friend and many other persons' friend. And this friendship, low-key as it has been, had existed between me and Robbie since the 1970s, while he was with Peter Tosh's band, Word, Sound and Power, until the day he transitioned. So he's still in my heart and will always be there. And over those years, I've witnessed this growth his growth as a musician and as an individual. We all know how respected Robbie has been as a bassist and producer internationally. But not only did the quality of his musicianship place him in that esteemed position, as a Jamaican, he also flew the nation's flag high because of his respectable conduct and alluring personality. As his wife, Kat, said, Robbie was a loving husband. And when she said so warmly, you know. Robbie was a loving husband, excellent provider, dedicated family man, and to so many, an incredible, steady friend. Robbie contributed significantly to our national identity. But he was not born into circumstances where that was the standard expectation. He achieved those meaningful qualities because he focused on his musical development and personal growth, which have inspired many contemporary musicians. Robbie had his ups and his downs. He had those. He came out of a community that would have impacted somewhat in his early years. But for me, Robbie will always be a model representation of our country and our people's best qualities, and he will remain a credit to our nation. That is why, as a cultural custodian and in my capacity as Minister of Culture, I've always considered Robbie Shakespeare a genuine ambassador for Jamaica musically and otherwise. So, as we celebrate Robbie's life, I'll share with you a few precious memories. Around 1977, Robbie and I met regarding some rather thorny issues. In fact, out of those circumstances, I introduced Robbie to George Pan, to a certain place. And out of that introduction, in fruitful collaborations and a steady stream of hits, came some of the greatest songs you can find, produced by Pang, utilizing the Sly and Robbie as rhythm section, like Greetings. Now, there were some other moments. Let me tell you another little story. Robbie fiercely protected and defended me against all he thought were negative things. You couldn't say anything bad about me in Robbie's presence. I remember him calling me from the studio one day to tell me he had to set someone straight because he was saying all kinds of things that he, Robbie, knew were not true. But of course, I didn't ask what he meant by setting that person straight. I didn't ask him. Robbie has a dry sense of humor. One time, our friend, I won't call his name because I think he's here in this church this morning. But this friend of ours was cussing someone who was causing some problems. And Robbie, with a straight face, calmly said to him, "No bother with that, because you can't cuss. And nobody take your cussing serious anyway. And it's not so bad word cuss." The same friend, mutual friend, used a big word to deal with the situation. And Robbie said, "I hope I'm there to defend you when someone who knows what the word means decide to knock you out." That person shall remain nameless. But I'm looking to my right. Robbie would call me from anywhere in the world, checking in with me regardless of the time. Sometimes it's in the wee hours of the morning, but Robbie would say, "Babsy, I'm in Japan. What time is it there now?" He would talk about all kinds of things, like his reception in faraway places and the impact that the places had on him. I have to tell you this story quickly. Robbie went on his first tour to Africa. And when he came back, he cut off his locks. Because he said what he saw impacted so greatly on him that he felt he had to do something about it. And the only thing he could do at that time was to cut his locks. Now, I'm going to move along quickly. Word, sound, and power. Every time Peter Tosh went on tour, there were occasions when I was living in Toronto, so everybody would touch base. But when I came back to Jamaica, Peter Tosh would make sure when he comes off tour, he would bring me a Bombay mango. So after Tosh passed, Robbie would make sure I get a perfume because he wanted to continue the tradition of making sure Babsy gets something from the tour. And he had a wicked bread pudding. Shaggy, you know about the bread pudding. Wicked. And he'd call me and say, Babsy, he's either going to send the bread pudding or I must come and get it. One last story. There was no water at home where Robbie lived. There must have been some restriction on water. And he said he had to get a shower. And he drove around until he saw a lady standing at her gate. And he explained to the lady, I want to get a shower. And she said, sure, you can go use my bathroom. And Robbie went, had a shower, thanked the lady, went home and called me and said, Babsy, a lady just gave me a shower. But you know, the beautiful thing about Robbie, he was real, a real person. So Robbie's accolades are countless. Among them, in his tribute, Herbie Miller wrote, when Shakespeare played his bass, he expressed the marvels and despairs of humankind. He was playing about love. He was playing about life. He was playing about values. He connected nationally and internationally with the different cultures. He addressed social issues. He celebrated the essence of humanity. He established bridges across borders and created aesthetic experiences that are touchstones to cultural harmony. Those are beautiful words, well said by Herbie Miller. In addition, Robbie's awards and citations include Musgrave Medal, Gold Medal, 2 Grammys, 12 gold records, and the Order of Distinction from the government of Jamaica. I will be closing shortly, but just a brief reference to his illness. Robbie was always hopeful, and we were all hopeful that he would pull through. And it was at times difficult to find a kidney donor. We finally got a donor. The donor had a difficult time getting the visa. Until finally, I personally made a commitment to the US Embassy that if she got the visa, I'd be responsible for her, because she was turned down several times. And she went up, and all the tests were done, and everything was perfect. And they were ready for the kidney transplant. And then Robbie went in for his checkups because she matched, it was a match, but they had to do this last checkup on Robbie. And they found that his liver was now affected. And so he didn't need a live donor anymore. He needed a donor who, I don't want to say a dead donor, but you know what I mean. And so there was further delay. And then Miraculously, in a short time, a donor was found. Some lady had an accident, and her liver and kidney was offered to Robbie. And I'm telling you, the team, the medical team, did wonders, which was led by a Jamaican doctor. They did wonders, and he did his surgery, and it was successful. But over time, it just didn't work out. But I want to use the opportunity to thank everybody who contributed to keeping him alive that much longer. Robbie will be remembered as someone from humble beginnings, whose sacrifices, dedication to hard work, and ability to make difficult choices along the way resulted in the kind of success that inspires others to pursue their dreams and ambitions. Robbie is your friend, him is friend for life. As Shaggy said, I can't explain to you how genuine a human being he was and how much he appreciated people. So today, it gives me great pride being a friend to this tremendous Jamaican of whom we're all proud. Kat, I'll be here for you. Sly, I'll be here for you. Bishop Blair called me this morning, Bishop Hera Blair, and said, he's in Orlando and he would have wanted to be here. And he said, you remember that is you called me and made the arrangements for me to marry Sly and Thelma? So the pure relationship this, all right? As I close, I just want to say to everyone here, death is inevitable. Every one of us here will go. And as we lose our friends, we get closer to it. So I want to make that special appeal that if you can tell somebody you care about them and you love them, do it now. Do it now. In fact, just look beside you and just tell somebody you love them. And be genuine in whatever you do, because good prevails over evil. God bless you all, and thank you so much.